Good evening, everyone. This is Carrie Weigel-Delaplane, and I'm really excited to tell you about my literature review. The focus of my literature review is the role of the community college in workforce development between the years of 2000 and 2011. Specifically, my research question is, what were the prevalent themes in the literature related to workforce development at the community college between the years of 2000 and 2011? The theories for my literature review are the following. The first is the Kelso-Adler theory of economic justice. I had described that to you in class, but just as a refresher, the three major aspects of that theory are participative justice, social justice, and distributive justice, with the goal being economic harmony. Now, related to the developmental aspect of my literature review, I actually didn't apply the theory of diffusion innovation theory to my literature review. What happened for me is that as when I finished my literature review, it was clear to me that there were some gaps in terms of how community college workforce development, specifically for this time period, but my gut tells me the future too, really addresses the idea of innovation in workforce. And I see this as a gap. I identified this as a gap in my current literature review, and I think it's something that begs future academic inquiry, scholarly inquiry, related to how innovation is actually spread in workforce development. And this theory really studies how innovation actually spreads. So I think that could be a really interesting theory to use to really pull together some gaps and provide a strong theoretical foundation. Next, the body of research that I used to conduct my literature review. Well, first, I used Harrison Wood as kind of a starting point in terms of the structure of my literature review. That was one of the articles that Tanisha had provided us earlier in the term. And then I conducted an exhaustive as possible literature review of community college workforce development between the years of 2000 and 2011. Found a lot of really key sources and was able to use a lot of those, and not only for their content, but also for their references, and was able to then dig into those references as well. So felt about as exhaustive as I could do in the time allotted. Harrison Wood had about 54 references in their literature review, which I think Tanisha called a kitchen sink literature review, I believe. And I was able to get 38 references that I felt were really helpful to the topic at hand and germane. And so it was as exhaustive, as I said, as possible. So sub areas that I identified through my literature review. Well, the methodology that I used was I did this literature review and I coded the literature into themes and used the themes to build my paper. The themes that I utilized, that I found as prevalent themes in the literature, are the following. The community college role and mission in workforce development, community college education, earnings, and work for workers, changing times, and community college workforce development response, with sections detailing community college and the new vocationalism and career pathways. And then specifically regarding career pathways, I also looked at best practices in career pathways. The next subsections were challenges facing community colleges and best practices, and then future recommendations, and finally gaps in the literature. Final thoughts. I guess the final thought that I have is that if I had to do it over again, well, I wouldn't change a thing. However, what I'd say is that I got so excited about the literature and digging in and doing research. I found so much information and put together something I'm really proud of. However, what I'd say is that I would like to, in the spirit of a developmental literature review, in the future continue to refine the connections between the themes. That's something that I look forward to working on now, I guess, and I wish that I had been able to do more of for this actual assignment. But overall, it's been an awesome term, and thank you everyone for your support, and I look forward to seeing you all in the new year.